So, you're visiting Greece for the very first time, and from day one, you find things that are weird to you, strange, some of them really good, some of them not so good. But have you actually questioned whether Greeks find anything strange about the United Kingdom when they visit it for the first time or when they come to live for the first time? Welcome to Greekosophy channel, everybody. My name is Tam, and today I'm going to tell you exactly that. 10 things that Greeks find strange about the United Kingdom. It's not necessarily weird or bad or anything like that. It's just simply strange and very different from what we're used to in Greece. Okay, let's start with the easy one, the British weather. Now, Greeks live in a country where it's almost on average 300 days of sunshine every year. And to move to a country where it's 300 days of rain each year is not that easy. But we are actually prepared for that. So it's not, this is not the case. And we know that it's going to be cold, and we know that at times it's going to be foggy. We watch all those BBC drama programs, and we are prepared. But what we're not prepared about is the grey. It is that period which can last for hours.
3 hours later.
For days.
The next day.
For weeks.
1 eternity later.
When the sky is completely grey, that blunt grey. You don't see any clouds because it's just absolutely grey. You open your eyes and you don't know whether it's morning, whether it's midday, whether it's early in the evening. You don't know that. It can be hot, it can be cold, it can be freezing, and it's just grey. Okay? And for example, right now it's kind of sunshine outside as I'm recording, but for the past 1.5 weeks, this is what we had in the UK. 1.5 weeks of greyness, and you come out and you look up in the sky and you feel miserable, a bit of bleh, and you don't know, is it gonna rain? Shall I get an umbrella or is it not? You don't know, and not even the weather knows. Sometimes it goes completely grey with nothing else for days, and sometimes a little bit of drops of rain starting, and you think, yeah, it's gonna rain, but the weather is unsure, and you get this kind of Chinese torture going on. You just hope that, okay, let's bring thunderstorms, let's bring thunder and torrential rain for an hour and let the sun come out again. But no. So it's this greyness that I'm talking about. Not just the British weather total, but just greyness. It's something that we don't really experience in Greece, and it takes a lot to get used to. I'm gonna risk here myself being wrong, but I think that it's not just Greeks that find this strange. And what I mean by that is having the choice between getting third-degree burns or frostbites. Yes, I have actually read a lot into it and realized the reason why in the United Kingdom in the old days you had separate taps for cold and separate taps for hot water, but now it's the 21st century and it's time that you get rid of that, because I can still find houses where they do have that, and especially in the cold winter months it's very difficult to do anything with one tap having boiling water and the other have frozen water. Time to mix up a bit. Now, my fellow Greeks are quite good at geography. Geography is a Greek word after all, geographia. But the UK is kind of confusing us. Why? Well, put it this way. Greece is one country, okay? We know one country, Greece, we are Greeks, and that's it, okay? So it kind of confuses us when we hear terms like England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Channel Islands, Isle of Man, United Kingdom, Great Britain. What is going on? And it's getting even more confusing when we watch sports. On the Olympics, we see Team GB. In football, we see England plays against Scotland, or against Wales, or against Northern Ireland. And it's so confusing. Obviously, we kind of understand it, especially the fact that, yes, the United Kingdom consists of England, Scotland, Wales, etc., etc., etc. We understand that. And I now have to apologise to all my fellow Scots, to all my fellow Welsh, to my fellow Northern Irish, because subconsciously for the Greek, rather than having to decide which one of the terms to use, subconsciously we result on the term English. So a lot of times we speak to a Scot or a Welsh and we say, "Oh, you English," and you can see they go, "Oh, but not English." And we say, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And it's genuinely sorry. We don't mean to do that. It's a subconscious thing. It comes out faster. Okay, it's subconsciously we have put the whole package, United Kingdom, Great Britain, Scotland, into the part of England. So even when we speak about the United Kingdom, we say England a lot of times. Yes, it takes a lot of used to it. Sorry, guys. Now you know. So if you're a Scot or an Irish or a Northern Irish, even Irish people, exactly. Even when you're Irish, sometimes we do that mistake. Apologies for that, guys. It's not intentional. But it comes out like that. Sorry. I'm gonna start a conspiracy theory right now, a brand new one, because they say that cows are one of the biggest contributors of carbon dioxide gases in the atmosphere. Okay, that's because they fart a lot. But I have a better theory. I think that has a lot to do with baked beans and British people's love of them. Okay, so follow me this. In Greece, we like beans, wheat beans. In fact, bean soup, fasolada, it is our unofficial national dish. But what we don't understand is, first of all, having beans in our breakfast and opening a can of beans with lots of sugar and putting it on a toast. And we find it a bit strange. Now, it's taken me 30 years and I've managed to finally get to like them. And sometimes I put them in my full English breakfast in the morning. And when I'm really, really hungry, yes, I admit I will do a toast and I will put some baked beans. But I would like to put some other stuff as well, some feta and other stuff, not just baked beans on toast. But for a Greek person, it's kind of difficult to understand. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to understand. But hey, that's us, I'm afraid. It's one of our things that we have to learn when we move to the UK. It's a cultural difference. What can I say? Yeah, this is a question for me that I still can't find a proper answer, from my British friends. You see, what a great way to have something nice and very functional for your home. You see, nowadays in the UK, we get quite a lot of time where it's getting warm and sunny. And unfortunately, Greek homes don't have window shutters. They have windows, and from the inside you can have curtains, you can have those kind of blinds that don't really keep the sun rays out anyway. But when it's hot and it's sunny and you want inside to have some shade but still some freshness in the air, you can either open your window but all the sun will still come in, or you can close the window and close the blinds, but the heat is going to be trapped inside and the sun ray is still going to blind you. Well, in Greece, in Italy, and Spain, we've solved that problem. We have window shutters. In the evening, you close the shutters, and it's one more level of security. A burglar has to chop the shutters first and then break the window, for example. Or you can close the shutters and open the window inside, and the fresh air comes in without all the hot sun rays coming in. It is so flexible. Even when it rains, you just close the shutters and you can still leave your window open and no rain will come in. And I don't understand why this hasn't picked up in the UK. It is nice. If you make homes, if you create homes and you see this video, please have a think about it. It's quite convenient. Trust me on that. But yeah, it is something that puzzles us, and even puzzles me to this day. If you know the answer, please put some comments below. I would definitely like to know why the UK doesn't have window shutters. Yes, please comment below. Have you been to Greece for the first time, or a second or third time, and you find things that you found strange about Greeks, the Greek culture, Greek in general? Please put them in the comments below, and we would love to know them, because we might be able to do a video about them. Also, if you're Greek and you think that you found other strange things or different things in the UK or any other country in the world, please let us know as well in the comments below, and we will most probably do another video about them as well. Now, for those of you that have already been to Greece, most probably you know what I'm going to talk about. But for you of those that don't, hear me out and get ready. You see, in Greece, we have this issue, and we've been having this issue since day one. You cannot flush anything down the toilet, not even toilet paper after you used it. Shocked? I know. It gets a lot of used to. And the reason for that is that because our wastage systems has very narrow drains, and therefore even the slightest bit of paper can clog them. So imagine if you're in the toilet, sitting in the toilet seat, and you do that mistake and throw all your toilet paper in there, you're gonna cause havoc in Greece. Trust me on that. You can create a lot of damage. And that's why whenever you go in Greece, on holiday homes, on hotels, restaurants, etc., you always see a sign in the toilet: please don't flush any paper down the toilet. And that is why you see these little balls or whatever where you put them, and you close them, and somebody basically comes and throws them away in waste, etc. So when a Greek visits the UK for the first time, it kind of starts with a panic and then with huge relief and celebration. What I mean by that, imagine you're sitting, in the toilet seat, you have done what you have to do, you reach for the toilet paper, yep, you do what you have to do with that, and then suddenly you realize there's no bin. And you start panicking. Oh my God, there's no bin. What am I going to do with the paper? How am I going to continue using the paper? That's the panic. Obviously, if you haven't met anybody that told you why there's no bin, the panic is going to continue. And it's going to create embarrassment. But once you realize that you can actually throw it in the toilet seat and flush it away, then the relief and the celebration begins. Happy Greek. Yes, we like that in the United Kingdom a lot. Now, if you're a waiter in Greece and you're working with British tourists for the first time, you might think that they're having a laugh at you. It happened to me when I first served a British tourist for the first time, and he asked for vinegar for his chips. I didn't believe it. I thought they were having a laugh until I saw him put vinegar in his chips, enjoying it. It came as a shock to me. I went in the kitchen in my break and tried it. And, I cursed him a few times. But, again, 30 years in the UK can change you quite a bit. So, no, I'm not putting vinegar every time I have chips. But there is the occasion where I have a lovely fish and chips in front of me. I'm very hungry, and I will add a little bit of vinegar just to give it that extra British traditional taste. But for Greeks coming to the UK for the first time, I don't think that it's gonna become the norm or a trend amongst the Greek population. We do put vinegar in our salads, for example, in our greens, but in our chips, sorry. Yes, embarrassing times for Greeks, this, and for me as well. Imagine being a Greek, visiting your friends in the United Kingdom. You go to a pub for a drinks, you raise your hand to the waiter, and you say, 2 beers please, and doing 2 beers please. And the waiter looks at you with a very, very angry stare, and you think, why is he staring me like that? What have I done? And that's because in Greece that means 2. Apologies, apologies guys, I'm not doing it on purpose, honestly, I'm not using it on purpose. This is peace, and for Greeks this is 2. Obviously for the United Kingdom the other gesture is very rude, and has the history behind it, which you can read. I'm saying that to my Greek friends, not the British. But yes, apologies for that, my British chums. Again, we're not doing it intentionally. It's because for us it means 2, and if we come to the UK for the first time and nobody warns us about it, we're not gonna know that is very rude. It's pretty much if you do like that, like that in Greece, like that, and for a British person that means 5 or 10, but for a Greek person is very rude, and I will explain why in another video that I'm gonna do about Greece. So yes, apologies for that. We don't intend to do it. So if you're a waiter or a barman, etc., and you see somebody doing the 2 fingers to you, most probably he's a foreigner and doesn't realize how rude it is. If you live in Greece, you know that lunchtime is around 2 to 2:30 in the afternoon, and after that until 5:30 you really have to keep quiet. And I mean, by law, you have to be quiet. Why is that? Well, because every Greek is having a nap, siesta as they call it in Spain, or just stays idle, reads a book, watches some TV, and relaxes. Okay, it's those 2-3 hours in the afternoon where Greece stops and chills. So when a Greek comes for the first time to the UK, especially to work in an office, it is taking a little bit of time to get used to the fact that there is no such a long break in between your shifts. Especially if you work in an office, a 9 to 5 job, you had your lunch, and suddenly your eyes are kind of starting closing a little bit. You feel relaxed, and you want to have a little nap under the desk, and you cannot. So yes, it will take quite a bit for a Greek to get used to not having that nap in the afternoon. I've heard that it is quite good for your body to have a couple of hours of nap midday. In Greece we do it a lot because we tend to go to bed quite late as well. But yes, it's something that we couldn't understand, or I couldn't understand initially. Why don't the British have this idea as well? Why don't they stop for a couple of hours for a nap? It doesn't make sense. I'm used to it now, but still when I go to Greece, especially when it's hot in the summer, you want to be under the shade and having a nice nap. Yes, it is nice, refreshing. Yeah, I can hear my Greek friends saying ma what? My what? Yes, I guess it's a British thing. I think you don't find it anywhere else in the world. If any Greek want to find out what it is, yes, it looks a bit like you've taken olives and you press them and you mash them and you created an olive paste. That's how it looks like. And that's where the similarities end, because the taste, I don't have anything to compare or describe it for similarities. You just have to try it. And as they say in the UK, you either love it or you hate it. And that's so true. Unfortunately, I'm the one that doesn't like it at all, sorry. But yes, every Greek that comes to the UK doesn't know what Marmite is, most probably he will see it in the supermarket shelf, most probably think it's some sort of jam, marmalade or whatever. Take it home, put lots of it on the bread, and if they like it, perfect. If they don't, no. But yes, it's one of the things that we find strange here. Very strange taste. I don't know who decided to make it, but at least, hey, it sells. There are people that really, really love it. I know a lot of friends of mine that love it. Unfortunately, I don't. Sorry. So, if you were not aware of any or some of those things, then you know what to do. Press the subscribe button down below so you can keep watching videos like that and learn a lot about the Greek culture. And don't forget to press the bell button as well, so every time a new video is uploaded, you are the first to know about it. And if you still like this video, after all we say about the UK, then please press the like button and let your friends know. The more people know about us, the more videos we can make, and the more you know about Greece and Greek culture.